D-Day 1944, Operation Overlord, first hand. One soldier's first-hand account of Operation Overlord, the D-Day invasion in June 1944, and of receiving a mixed welcome in France. On the 25th of May 1944, we were sealed in. That is, we were taken to a wood near Southampton, where we billeted in tents already erected and had to remain there until D-Day. This campsite was surrounded by a high fence, and we were not allowed outside the fence. This was to prevent anyone giving away vital information to the enemy. On 3rd of June 1944, we embarked at Southampton and proceeded to Area Z. This was an assembly point south of the Isle of Wight. Here we transferred to a two-hold cargo ship, the MV Signality. Owing to rough weather, D-Day was postponed 24 hours. We then crossed the English Channel in one vast armada. Each column of vessels was so long that the curvature of the earth was easily apparent. Nearing the French coast, I took up my position on the bridge and set up the radio. The cargo was discharged into ducks, amphibious trucks, which went ashore, unloaded, and returned to us, the whole work proceeding according to plan. The sea was rough, and many soldiers, including me, were very sick, but we stoically carried on. Only one German plane called on us and sprayed the deck with bullets, but we kept low till he had passed over, and then went back to work. The ship was emptied by 1800 hours, so we went ashore in one of the ducks, where there seemed to be some confusion. We were ordered to leave our big packs and blankets on the ground, to be collected later, and then march westwards along the coastal road till we came to a small village, and here, near the seashore, we had to dig our foxholes, dugouts. By this time, the weather had improved somewhat, and when, after waiting for our kit and blankets to arrive, nothing happened, I approached our sergeant major, who panicked, which I remember being warned of before we sailed. Seeing no one else to help us, three of us commandeered a small trailer and pushed it along the coastal road, back the way we had come. It was our intention to collect our property and return again to our foxholes. When we arrived, we discovered to our dismay that all the baggage had gone, and we wondered what to do when enemy aircraft arrived and fired on the area. I sheltered under a large tree which was leaning considerably and afforded quite good protection. The raid was fast and furious, and then all was quiet again, and I looked for my friends, which was very difficult as it was now dark and I had been blinded by the searchlight and explosions. They were sheltering not far away, and we all thought we had lost each other. Deciding to return empty-handed, we took the trailer along the coast, but hadn't gone very far before we were fired upon from a position inland and with enemy rifles. We dived for cover and then decided to ditch the trailer in someone's garden and forsake the coastal road and instead walk along the shore. This also had its drawbacks, as the tide was now in, and in places we had to wade up to our middles in cold seawater. There was still the odd enemy plane obeying the Führer and being a nuisance to us, but we crept on, giving the password several times, till we arrived at our campsite, located our foxholes, and crawled in, tired, hungry, and very wet. Luckily, it was a summer's evening, so we survived until the morning. In the morning, we discovered that we had come ashore at Bernier-sur-Mer, instead of Courcelles-sur-Mer, which was about 2 or 3 miles to the west. We also learned that the snipers were in fact French women, wives of German soldiers who had either been killed in the attack or had fled. These women, all fairly young, were later rounded up and taken into custody. We continued the discharging of cargoes into ducks, which took the cargo right up to the front line and then returned for more. My job was to check the rate of discharge and to calculate the time of finish so that arrangements could be made for the ship to return to England for reloading. This had to be radioed to the shore HQ every hour, or oftener if required, the reason being that the battle situation could change. If the enemy was retreating, petrol would be required for the chase, but if he was holding his ground, guns and ammunition would be wanted. Courcelles-sur-Mer was a small fishing village with one street running down through it to the sea. Here there was a small harbour that, after being cleared and prepared, was used by small cargo boats. We were not welcomed in the village, the Germans and the conscripted Poles and Russians already having been settled in. To their young wives and children, we were the enemy, not the liberators that we had thought of ourselves. C'est la vie, c'est la guerre. That is an extract from Hemyock Memories, Eyewitness Accounts of World War II, 1939-45, and that is from Volume 1. Copyright 2014-2019, www.hemyockcastle.uk, all rights reserved.